What are you doing here? Here, take this.
Ladies that are still serving cake will get involved. I'd like to first introduce to the table to my left, Dave Moran, assistant hockey coach at the University of Alaska. Ms. Kathy Benson, activities director at Lathrop High School. Mr. John Rima, assistant hockey coach at Lathrop High School. Mr. Mike Schwartz, coach of the state championship hockey team. Ms. Katie McMullen, hockey cheerleader advisor. And Mr. Bill Ranning, principal at Lathrop High School. This has truly been a remarkable year for hockey at Lathrop. A new coach, a new attitude, new standards of excellence, and a new enthusiasm gave these young men and women who participated in this effort an opportunity to see the dream come true. If you had a choice between being good or being lucky, you might pick being lucky. Well, Lathrop was lucky. They were lucky to have a good coach. They were lucky to have breaks go their way in the counter. And they were lucky even at times to have the puck go in the net. But you got the breaks because you were good. Because you practiced the shots that eventually went into the net. You made your luck happen. That combination made your Cinderella story come true. You'll never forget it, and neither will we. Your friends, parents, teammates, and supporters. And for that, we thank you. I'd like to introduce Mrs. Tula Belton to get us in the mood for this championship evening.
I hope tonight to relive what happened in those memorable 2 days when we were down in Anchorage and saw this dream come true. The Lathrop hockey players were greeted in Anchorage with the sports headline, "Underdogs looking for a break in hockey playoffs." This was followed by an Anchorage Daily News reporter Scott Heiberger's statement, "Two of the teams are favored to win, while the other two, one being Lathrop, merely are expected to step on the ice." Reporting of this nature was not new to the Lathrop team. As Monroe coach Schroeder remarked of the North Star Hockey Conference Northern Division Championship, "I think it will be West Valley's turn to win tonight. West Valley just has more strength up front. I think it's going to take a lot of effort on Lathrop's part if they expect to do well." The Lathrop hockey team stepped hard on the ice and crushed Service's dream of a state championship, as well as the dreams and expectations of the Diamond hockey coaches and players in their chance to defeat Lathrop. Hopes were high for the group from Fairbanks, parents, relatives, and friends of the hockey team. We all had high hopes. But was it an impossible dream? In much of the conversations after the game, one of the players commented, "We knew we were going to be the Alaska State champs, but I don't think anyone else believed it." 1986 was the 4th year of state competition for hockey. In the past, the first and second teams from Fairbanks competed with the Anchorage and other region teams. This year, however, there was a North Star Hockey Conference Northern Division Championship playoff, a one-game elimination series. During season play, Lathrop defeated their arch rival West Valley 3 out of 4 games. It was truly the best season record ever for Lathrop High School hockey. Will their dream of going to state be shattered by the one-game conference playoff? With a score of 2-1 in the second period of the conference playoff game, either team could be the winner. Something clicked for the Lathrop players, and the final score was 7-3. Lathrop succeeded. With lots of joy and pride, the first phase was completed. The second step was meeting on the ice with the Service Cougars. With a record of 25 wins and 1 defeat, Service was favored to win. Lathrop was the underdog. Their coach, Mike Schwartz, was the rookie coach from Minnesota in his first year as a high school hockey coach. The odds were against Lathrop, but their spirit was high. The final moment arrived. The horn tooted. The game began. Both teams were strong and played with precision and determination. Ricky Lord was overpowering. He made 16 saves during that first period, and the crowd cheered at every one of them. One puck zipped over his head and got in. The score after the first period, 1-0, Service. The same type of play continued during the scoreless second period. Lathrop scored quickly in the third period. The Lathrop fans went wild with enthusiasm. Shortly thereafter, Service scored, 2-1. The same type of enthusiasm was shown by the Anchorage and Service fans. With a few minutes left in the game, it was noticed that some of the Service players were wearing necklaces, illegal in the rule books. The Lathrop captain brought this to the attention of the head referee. A 2-minute penalty was called. A Service player was in the penalty box at this time. There now were 2 Service players serving penalties. Lathrop capitalized on that with the Service shorthanded. Lathrop scored. Service now brought to the referee's attention that Ricky Lord was wearing a blue helmet. Rulebook states all players must wear the same color. A 2-minute penalty was called on Lathrop. Mike Harrington served the penalty. The game ended in a 2-2 tie. Lathrop fans were jubilant, yet apprehensive. I'm sure Service's fans felt somewhat the same. Service knew the feeling of victory. Lathrop could only anticipate how and what the feeling was all about. The announcer stated, there will be a 3-minute break to be followed by an 8-minute sudden death overtime. The 3 minutes went quickly. 8 minutes came and went with no scoring. The Sullivan Arena remained excited, apprehensive, and enthusiastic. Another 3-minute and another 8-minute sudden death period was announced over the public address system. There would be a change. The ice was to be Zamboni, more waiting. The second overtime period was about to begin. The clock started. It was 20 seconds into the second period. Lathrop was in Service territory. John Iott saw an opportunity. He made a split-second decision. He fired the puck. He scored. Lathrop won. Our team did it. We won. The Lathrop fans went wild. They screamed, they hollered, they hugged, they jumped, and screamed, hollered, hugged, and jumped some more. How proud we all were. What joy we all felt. The second dream was now a reality. A group of fans and the coaches gathered afterwards and reminisced about the evening's events and the many positive incidents that occurred during the season. It was truly a memorable occasion. Friday, the next evening, Game 2 was about to begin, the final phase. Parents and fans were discussing among themselves the previous evening's events, wondered apprehensively about the team tonight. The horn tooted. The game began. As the seconds ticked away, there was a worried feeling among Lathrop fans. It was the same hockey team playing, but they were not playing the game of hockey that was played the night before. It appears as if they were in slow motion while their opponents were playing hockey. Lathrop scored the first goal, but it was called back on the grounds it was kicked in. Shortly thereafter, Diamond shot over Ricky's head. The puck deflected off his stick and fell in behind him. End of first period, 1-0, Diamond. 20 saves were made by Ricky Lord. The second period began. It was like a different team was playing. The team from last night's game. Heard later that the coach told the team he knew they could play better. They knew they could play better. So go out and play hockey and have fun. End of the second period, 2-1 Lathrop. The third period began. Lathrop's fans outnumbered Diamonds. The service fans were even rooting for Lathrop. Confetti was flying, horns were blowing. Cheerleaders continuously led the fans in chant. Enthusiasm was high. The anticipation of being state champions was in everyone's hearts and showed on their faces. It was an overwhelming sight. Another goal was scored by Lathrop, 3-1. Shortly thereafter, another, 4-1. The Lathrop fans were ecstatic. In 2 minutes, we would be the Alaska State champions. All we had to do was maintain the lead and wait for time to pass. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game over. Lathrop at Fairbanks, Alaska State champions. What a joyous feeling. The team members leaped on Ricky. He had another fantastic game. 51 saves. Coach Wards and Coach Rima hugged the players. The players hugged the coaches and then one another. The cheerleaders squealed, hollered, and screamed with joy. Don't know how their voices managed to withstand all their vocal enthusiasm. They were truly outstanding during this tournament. Parents and fans displayed the same victorious emotions that did everyone else. Lathrop was #1, a first for Fairbanks. A Wasilla fan remarked, "Tell Lathrop they are terrific. Congratulate them from Wasilla." The underdogs were now the top dogs. Lathrop stepped hard on the ice. We were the champions. It was awesome. The feeling, the scene, total euphoria. Awards were presented, the cheering continued. Each player was personally presented with a first place medal. The first place plaque was presented to the coaches. Coach Wards motioned for the team to join him. After he received it, he handed it to Lathrop captain Kurt Franklin, and the entire team skated around the arena chanting, "We're #1." A case of sparkling cider was waiting in the locker room. The celebration continued. Parents, friends, and fans waited at the exit door. As each player entered, they were cheered, applauded, and hugged. The shouting and cheering in Anchorage was just about over. The team boarded the bus for the airport and the 11:30 p.m. return flight to Fairbanks. Family and friends greeted the team on their arrival at Fairbanks. A special thanks is necessary for the rookie coach, Mike Schwartz. He believed in his team, and his team believed in him. It was the first year in the hockey program at Lathrop High School that the hockey players would not depicted as the rowdy troublemakers. He set the standards, attainable high standards, and they were reached and maintained. He respected his players, and the players and parents respected him. As a parent, I know I'm speaking on behalf of all the parents. Thank you, Coach Schwartz, for a wonderful, memorable, victorious 1985 and 1986 hockey season. Also, a special thanks to your mom and aunts.
Isn't it great to be a winner? From the Alaska State Legislature, in honor of your hard work, a proclamation honoring Lathrop High School Malamutes hockey team, 1986 Alaska State champions. With great pride, the members of the 14th Alaska State Legislature congratulate the members of the Lathrop High School hockey team for recently winning the Alaska State Hockey Championship. The Lathrop Malamutes began the tournament with a narrow 3-2 victory over the Service Cougars in a thrilling double overtime game. In the final matchup in Anchorage's Sullivan Arena, a crowd of 1,600 watched Lathrop defeat Diamond High to gain the high school hockey title. It was a total team effort for the Malamutes, who took advantage of every opportunity presented them. Junior goalie Ricky Lord played an outstanding game with 51 saves, leading the Malamutes to victory and ending Anchorage's 2-year hold on the state title. First-year coach Mike Schwartz, with the able support of assistant coach John Rima, has earned our highest praise for the excellent job he did in preparing the Malamutes to compete against the best teams in the state. Managers Dave Christensen and David Sepelek, and statisticians Lisa Stratzman, Julie Heels, and Terry Whitmire are also to be commended for their dedication and hard work. Praise is also in order for the enthusiastic support Given to the team by cheerleaders Tiffany Ackles, Judy Eels, Christy Dernis, Mary Norm, Tanana Robinson, Eden Bell, Molly Grice, and advisor Katie McMullen. Our personal congratulations go to these members of the Lathrop High School hockey team, 1986 Alaska State High School hockey champions, John Hyatt, Mike Belton, Derek Bloom, Indy Carden, Heidi Kolupnik, Greg Close, Joe Denota, Dennis Dowse, Kurt Franklin, Greg Fritzy, Mike Fulford, Glenn Geiger, Wyatt Gower, Mike Harrington, Ricky Lord, Sam McConkey, Shane Novich, Eric Pyatt, Keith Swarner, Jim Tobin, Casey Van Nostrand. Signed, Ben Gusendorf, Speaker of the House, Don Bennett, President of the Senate, requested by Senators Ferencamp, Bennett, and Coghill, Representatives Davis, Frank, M.W. Miller, Copeland, Ringstad, and Schultz. This is a dummy copy. The legislature, in its wisdom, did not have time to get these printed in actuality for you. They will be handed out probably at Assembly Day later in the year. So you'll all get a copy of this. Coach Rick Schaefer is planning to be with us this evening, but as he's a new father of an 8-pound boy, Ross John, he's at the hospital this evening. In his stead, we have Dave Lorian, who would like to make a few comments on behalf of the University of Alaska. Dave?
Thank you very much. I guess I feel like George Bush. No, but I am envious. I really am. The recital of games over the weekend of the state tournament brought back memories for me. Fortunately, the farthest I got from the region finals when I played high school hockey. And Grand Rapids High School, my 3 years when I was in high school, beat us in the region final all 3 years. And very disappointing. High school hockey is at a level now where to make it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment, and to win it is truly a real feat. You bring the trophy back to Fairbanks, I understand, for the first time since they've had the state half, and first time I played from high school, and many guys are really tremendous at it. The one thing I want to comment on is the fact that a lot of times, with all the emotion that's involved with the sport, a lot of praise goes to the players, the cheerleaders, honestly, the coach and staff, and the parents get left out occasionally. So I was sitting in my office this afternoon and I said, my parents had a lot to do with my hockey also. And I started to formulate a list of all the things that they did when I was growing up. I suppose I started when I was about 6 years old. And the list went on, they bought my first pair of skates. They bought all of my pairs of skates. They helped pay for my team's travel. They woke me up early in the morning for those 6 o'clock practices. They laced my skates when I was too young to do it myself. Helped me put my skates on when I was too young to do it myself. They defended my team's honor. Teammates rides to and from games, sometimes girlfriends. They made sure my skates were always sharpened, even sometimes between the first and second period. They take my stick, wash my uniform, cheer from the stands, bought me a pop after a tough practice, maybe even a hot dog after a tougher game. But most of all, they congratulated me when I played well, and they sobered me and encouraged me when I played for them. So I hope you guys will take the time in your own way to express the thanks to your parents who really, they've been through a lot for you guys. A lot of things that go unnoticed. Started with you, started playing hockey. And I hope you can give your mom a kiss or your father a kiss and give them all a hug. Really appreciate it. And all I can say is it's going to be tougher next year. There'll be a lot of teams that are going to be out to say, hey, Lathrop didn't deserve it. We're going to prove that they didn't deserve it. Same side, they're coming back and going to say, hey, we're going to prove why Lathrop deserved it. And we're going to show that we're going to keep the trophy at Lathrop High School for years to come.
Thank you, Dave. Miss Katie McMullen has done her usual superb job this year with the cheerleaders and statisticians and mascots, scorekeepers, and all those other people that she keeps under control. Okay, girls, it's your turn.
I'd like to turn Scouts have put in an awful lot of work this year, and if you have a chance, please stop by and look at some of the scrapbooks that they have. They've been diligently cutting out the newspaper clippings, and we've been Xeroxing them off, and the scrapbooks are in the shape of a skate, and we did skate for the state. That's a nice job.
There was a lady in St. Paul this year that terribly wanted to be at the state championship game. She also terribly wanted to be at the banquet. Unfortunately, she could not attend in person, but the video at the back of the room is going to be her next best effort on our part. And from Mike's mother, Mrs. Matt Schwartz, I have the following note for the hockey team. Press release. Accomplishment is recognized. You're special with us. Even though we haven't met you, we feel that we know you. You've been talked about a lot on the east side of St. Paul. Everyone here is so happy for all of you. You have a lot to be proud about, and we want you to know how proud we are of each of you. You will always have a spot in Mike's mom's heart. I can't express my feelings and happiness for you. My only regret is that we couldn't be there with you to cheer you on and celebrate your victories with you. But you did it, and that's what counts. I was very sad when Mike left home for Alaska last August, but I'm glad now that he pursued what he wanted to do, coach high school hockey. Each of you had a part in making his first year of coaching a success. Thank you all. I hope someday we can meet you. Good luck in the future years of hockey and school, wherever it may be. Congratulations again, and God bless you. Signed, Mr. and Mrs. Matt Schwartz, 1973 East Nebraska Avenue, St. Paul, Minnesota. Why don't we all just turn around and say hi to Ms. Schwartz? Hi, Ms. Schwartz. Next, we have a very special award. This award is authentic. It was carried by one of your stalwart fans all the way from the hills of West Virginia, some 20 years ago, where they're known as the producers of more of this than perhaps anywhere else in the free world, with the possible exception of the St. Louis stockyards in Washington, D.C. It's hoped that this award will be kept in the trophy case at Lathrop to be presented yearly, with the recipient's name to be engraved on an appropriate plaque. We expect this to be a very sought-after award. Lord knows there are generally a lot of people in the running. As a matter of fact, it's the first of what we hope will be an annual award to the sports writer in Alaska who has stepped in it the deepest in 1986. The winner of the first annual Cal Pucky Award for 1986 is Mr. Scott Heiberger, reporter for the Anchorage Daily News, for his comments in the Thursday, March 6 issue. And I quote, "Two of the teams are favored to win, while the other two are merely expected to step on the ice. To Mr. Heiberger, we present this authentic memento of one of life's more memorable quotes." Superstitious he was. He wore the same underwear 3 days in a row. And he wore his pins upside down until he realized it, and then he turned them right side up, and Lathrop all of a sudden played better. He says they're all like this in hockey. And John Ryman, he shared with the kids, and he was scared with the kids. He put on his own learn to skate program this year. Next year he plans to learn how to stop and maybe even skate backwards. Okay, team, give them a cheer. 1, 2, 3. LDGL, LDGL. Outsiders on this joke, that means
exactly what I was going to say when I got up here. And I fell asleep in the process. During that sleep, I had a dream. I dreamt that I died and went to heaven. At the gates of St. Peter, he met me there. He says, well, Mike, you being a hockey player and all, before you go through the gates, there's a ladder over there, and as you go up that ladder, I want you to write on each rung one of your penalties that you've taken from Pee-wees all the way on up through college. He says, well, Peter, that's going to be pretty tough. A lot of penalties in my day. Well, I said, well, I really like getting into heaven, so I took the piece of chalk that he gave me, and I started at the bottom in Pee-wees, then Bantams, then midgets, then high school, then juniors, then college, then seniors. Well, I got up to a certain point, I could just not think of any more. And I thought, well, I think that's about it. I think he'll let me in. And I was just getting ready to come back down, and somebody stepped on my hand. And I looked up, and here's Greg Fritzy coming down for more chalk. Dig on Dave here too. There was a time when I was in International Falls once. Beautiful country. It doesn't smell the greatest, but beautiful country. I came from there. The honor definitely has to be preserved by someone up there. We had a state hockey tournament up there that I told the boys about a little incident up there. International Falls, great territory, and we'll leave it at that. There's a lot of people to thank tonight, and Dave has covered the parents pretty well. I need to thank a few people. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Brandon and Mrs. Benson for giving me the opportunity to coach at Lathrop High School. I looked at it as an opportunity of a lifetime, and it was a dream come true, and I really appreciate that. Secondly, when I got here, I met a gentleman that knew absolutely nothing about hockey, but I knew he had what it takes to field an excellent team. He knew all the hierarchy of things, the way it was supposed to work, and how to handle kids, and I appreciate that, John Randall. You look at our beginning of the year, we had the first meeting. I believe we had 20 kids show up. It was not a real positive thing for me. I was a little bit nervous. I think that goes without saying through the season. We started dryland training, and all of a sudden, hockey players started coming out of the walls. We had over 50 hockey players try out for the Lathrop hockey team this year. And going through that, having to evaluate all the different things that come into putting a hockey team, I know now that I chose the right 20. And I want to thank you guys for everything you've done for me this year. Cheerleaders, you guys kind of get left out. I know from day one, you know I don't get along with cheerleaders. But I have to give you credit. You're the best group of cheerleaders I've ever had to deal with, and I appreciate it. We have another little item that needs to be cleared up before the season is over. I have a little piece of paper here dated 11/27/85. We agreed to pay the winner $20 in cash to the arm wrestling champion, Shane Novich and Greg Close. We're going to settle that right now. On the floor in the middle, right there, and I want the $20 up here on the table. Mr. Franklin, would you please do it the same way you did it in the locker room that day? On the floor. Kurt, referee. table over there. These two guys are right in the running for the cow pie award over here. I knew where they were spreading that practice. there are a few memorable quotes that need to be brought up at the banquet. I think Dennis Dowles will remember this one. We were playing service the first time we went down to Anchorage. And Dennis was out at center ice, skating around, and all of a sudden he ran into a brick wall that kind of just knocked his helmet flying halfway across the rink. And that wasn't so bad, but Dennis went to pick it up, and he got a 2-minute penalty for it, instead of skating right to the bench. Well, when he finally does get over to the bench, he comes in, he says, you know, the worst part about that was I had my head up. Dennis is also known for his ability to lose things at opportune times. We won't go into details. At this time, I'd like to have the team come up. I will call you up individually. I have participation certificates for you that I would ask Mr. Brandon to assist me in handing out. And then I have some special awards that I would also like to pass off. Two people that deserve a lot of recognition for us that we really haven't even talked about, and that is our managers, David Christensen and David Saplack, who haven't been here. They're the guys that went around the locker room at the end, picking up all them tape wads that are laying around the floor, getting kids mouth guards when they forgot them in their bag, filling up their water bottles and running around for these guys, and they were their own personal valet, more or less. And they did a super job for us. And every team needs to have good managers, and these two guys were two of the best. David Sepelak and David Christensen. Ninth grade sensation, loser of the arm wrestling championship, Shane Novich. Sophomore, Indy Carden. Sophomore, Mr. Izad, Sam McConkey. Sophomore and winner of the arm wrestling championship, Greg Close. Junior, Mike Harrington. Junior, Mike Fulford. Junior, Dennis Dowles. Junior, Joe Donato. We're going to take a team vote a little bit. Push-ups, no tie. Junior, Casey Van Ostrand. Junior, Mike Belton. You missed Mr. Harrington with the tie? Junior, Keith Swarner. Junior, John Hyatt. Junior Jim Tobin. Junior Ricky Lord. Senior Heidi Kolutnik. To my knowledge, Heidi has the distinction of being the only female hockey player ever to play on a state championship hockey team in any state. She was also our nominee for Academic All-American for hockey. Senior Glenn Geiger. Senior Eric Hyatt. Senior alternate captain Greg Fritzy. Senior captain Kurt Franklin. Rookie coach John Ryma. At this time, Mr. Ryma has a few words that he would like to say.
I just wanted to, first of all, say hi to Mom and Dad Schwartz over there. I didn't know much about hockey when I got here this year, but I probably know very little more than I did, but I've learned through my years of coaching, I've coached Lathrop, probably about every sport there is, that it takes a certain kind of person to be a winner. And it doesn't matter the sport. And these people that sit at this table represent some of the best athletes as far as dedication and self-pride that I've ever been involved with. And I wanted to say right off the bat, thank you for letting me be a part of that. Also, I want to thank my wife for putting up with all the things that I've come up with to get out of doing dishes and stuff like that, things like that. I'd also like to thank the parents because, as Coach said here a while ago, it couldn't happen without your support and without your dedication. And it all comes down through the line, and it paid off in Anchorage. Thank you, parents. Also, again, to the managers that were personal valets to every one of these gentlemen and ladies that ran them ragged constantly. Thank you, managers. Thanks for Brian. Brian back there. Brian filmed everything we did this year, was at every game, was dedicated because he believes in what we're doing. Thank you again. Thanks. Just a couple of quick notes here, and I'm going to back off. There's a couple of things that I was going through when looking through these pictures a while ago, and I noticed a picture from the very first few days of preseason training. And some of you parents might be interested in this. One of the people that was probably never missed a practice, and probably, I don't think, came up with an excuse for anything, and that was Heidi. Heidi was a champion in all respects. the very first, as you can see in one of the pictures there, she has the championship in one of the drills that we had, where a person holds onto your feet and you have to do a wheelbarrow walk. But she went the furthest of all of these athletes in this neighborhood. And to me, I think it's a remarkable feat. And one other note that I wanted to tell Glenn that Brian has the film of the last half the game that he can't remember because he got knocked out, played half the game out like that. And I just wanted to let him know that if you got that half the film, you know you missed it. I wanted to say something about the seniors, something quick, but in the way that I think that I'll remember them. I think that they're individuals that help mold this team together because of their attitudes and their ideas and their abilities. And I'll remember Eric Pyatt because I think he was the quiet. He was there, he did his job. He was just kind of a quiet guy that played hockey. He did a good job. And I remember Heidi because she was patient. And when it was time, she got to play. She did a good job. And Glenn's the guy that he'd knock him down, come over and say, "Coach, is that right?" And he'd do it 2 or 3 times until he got it right. But he was dedicated and he was good. And Kurt's the guy that I remember, comes over. Kurt always, "Hey Coach, I've got an idea. What about this?" He's great. That's the way I remember Kurt. A good athlete. And the one senior that I think probably, to me personally, was a great leader, but he was quiet. Greg, I think you were probably the best leader that I've seen in a student athlete in a long time. Thank you. And last but not least, my best friend, Mike Schwartz. It's been a fantastic year. It's hard to talk right now, but I have not found a friend that's been an open and accepting and who's been more dedicated to the sport regardless. And it's been a pleasure to be an assistant and to help these ladies and gentlemen. Mike, thanks a lot.
That we have to go through here. I have some awards that are very deserving of some people. When John talks, he not only talks to himself, but he also talks to you because it comes from the heart. And you guys, you 22 people, have meant more to me than any other group of athletes that I've ever coached. Whether it be at the grade school level, be at the junior high level or the high school level. We had something that was special. And we looked down the whole year. We were a group of individuals that came together and decided we wanted to be a team. And you guys did it. I am only an instrument if you guys did it. Okay? Always remember that. The awards I have here, first of all, I have a bad problem with it. I always talk to myself. Don't get very intelligent answers either. First one is a G-Man Award. This goes to the person on the team who scores the most goals throughout the season. This individual scored the game-winning goal against Service in overtime. It was his 26th goal of the season. My man on the team, John Hyatt. This trophy goes to the individual who led the team in scoring. It's the Lathrop Leading Scorer Award. This person had 20 goals. I take that back. He ended up with 54 points. He was right around 21 or 22 goals and 32 assists. He didn't always put the puck in the net, but he was always there to take care of John when John needed him. Jim Tobin, 54 points. These next 3 awards that I have are voted on by the team members and the coaches. And the one was the most inspirational player. If you look through the course of the season, there was a kid who was always there, who was always the one to say, hey, come on, you can do it. Get it done. Let's go. Make it work. I remember him because he probably did more push-ups than anybody else on the team through the course of the year. Sam McConkie. Before the service game, Sam caught a blue puck and kind of knocked him out. Fritz, you want to talk about it, right? Sam comes over, Coach, I want to play. I go, Sam, can you play? Yeah. So I talked to the trainer. He says, Larry, what do you think? Can you play? He says, well, Coach, he can't raise his arm farther than that without it being in severe pain. I said, well, me and Sam talked a little bit. He said, Sam, you have another job to fulfill tonight. Tonight you got to be the cheerleader on the bench. And Sam took that responsibility, and he did just that. And the next night, we got him in that diamond game, and I don't know how many shifts he played for sure, but it was about half the game. And for a kid who had a sore shoulder and came in and started banging bodies the way this sophomore did, I tell you, it's a privilege to do this to you, Sam. This award goes to the most improved player on the team. This was probably the toughest one for the kids to vote on. It was definitely the toughest one I had to vote on. When it was all said and done, it came down to one player. And we had to evaluate between 2 or 3 because you look at the strides that a lot of these kids made in just from November to March, and it was unbelievable. These kids came around like true athletes. This individual has been mentioned before, and he's the most gutsy, most dedicated athlete I've probably come across. He goes at it 100%. He doesn't quit. He wants to know if he's doing things right exactly. Glenn Geiger. The next award goes to the best defenseman, as voted on by team players and coaches. It came down to where it was tied. And instead of splitting this one, I decided to give it 2. These 2 individuals were only 1 point apart in their scoring abilities. In penalty minutes, they were not that far apart. But it was a real pleasure to have these 2 guys on a team that I was able to coach. They were the leaders on and off the rink. They, you can say so much about kids, but it's just great to see 2 kids come around like these 2 have. Kurt Franklin and Greg Fritz. Most Valuable Player Award. We looked at this and, gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. When the chips were down and you need to have a save, this person came through with it for us. He shared the duties with his partner. They both played excellent all year long. This person played in the region final game. He had 53 stops. He played against Service. He had 44 stops. He played against Diamond and had 51 stops. It's my pleasure to give the Most Valuable Player Award to Ricky Laurie. One final thought that I would like to read. It says, Thoughts for an Athlete, Younger Eyes, by Pat Kenny, 1976, a former Tomahawk youth hockey player. And it kind of tells a story of what I've been trying to tell you guys all year long. There are younger eyes upon you, and they're watching night and day. There are younger ears that quickly take in every word you say. There are younger hands all eager to do all yours may do. And there's a younger boy who's dreaming of the day he'll be like you. You're the younger athlete's idol. You're the wisest of the wise. In his younger mind about you, no suspicions ever rise. He believes in you devoutly, holds all that you say and do. He will say and do in your way, and when he's a grown-up like you. There's a younger fan who never will stray from his ringside seat. He's your most intent observer among all the fans you meet. He never misses your contests, learning more and more each game. But they're not tips from your teammates. They're from you and not the same. With him there'll be no tomorrow. He's got to be you today. His dream will have to wait, though, till he understands the ways. He knows about all the practice, but he doesn't seem to mind. The strength to work will come to him with the happiness he'll find. There's a wide-eyed younger athlete who believes you're always right, and his ears are always open, and he watches day and night. You are setting an example every day in all you do, for the younger boy who's waiting to grow to be like you. You're the younger athlete's tutor. He's your proud disciple now. Soon he'll acquire the knowledge to show you what, when, and how. His moves and actions are his own, but once they belong to you. He's become the greatest ever, for he watched and copied who? Thank you.
It's time for a few more thanks. Thanks to all of the sponsors who helped with the production of the program. Thanks to John Rosie and the Alaska Gold Kings for their support and recognition throughout the season.